I'm Floyd Heffner, age 47. That morning is a strange feeling. 10:30, I looked at my assistant, and I told him something is wrong. Little did I know. No one should have to go through things like this. So pleasant. Especially with two small children.
For nearly 11 years, Floyd Heffner and his family enjoyed a typical suburban lifestyle. But on the morning of February the 8th, 1983, their lives were abruptly shattered. It started with a knock on the door. Waiting on the front steps was the next-door neighbor, a young man with a high-powered rifle. When Joyce Heffner answered the door, he suddenly opened fire. She yelled to her 5-year-old daughter, Jenny, who had been standing at the top of the stairs, to run. Joyce then collapsed on the kitchen floor, where she was fatally wounded by a shot to the head. The assailant then pursued Jenny, who had hidden in her closet. He fired through the bedroom door and left the house thinking he had killed her. The bullet narrowly missed Jenny, who then dialed 911 and reported the incident.
County emergency.
My mom's dead.
What's your address?
It's no, I don't know my address.
Who's around the house with? Who else is in the house with you?
I don't know. That's my mother, and she's dead.
Where's your mommy located at?
In the kitchen.
Where is she at in the kitchen?
She's on the floor by the kitchen door.
She's on the floor by the kitchen door?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Police dispatchers kept Jenny on the phone for over 20 minutes while they traced the call. When officers finally arrived at the house, Joyce Heffner was already dead. It was then that Jenny first recounted how the next-door neighbor, 16-year-old Donald Young, had shot and killed her mother. He was arrested 18 hours later with 2 rifles and 20 rounds of ammunition in his possession.
February 1983, Joyce Heffner was found shot to death in her home. Her next-door neighbor, 16-year-old Donald Young, was charged with the murder. He was a loner, a high school dropout, and a Nazi sympathizer. He testified that Mrs. Heffner had laughed at him. This week, the court released a tape recording of the phone call 5-year-old Virginia Heffner made asking for help. 8 times she asked if the ambulance was on the way, but the police were having trouble locating the address because the phone number was unlisted.
How many minutes is an ambulance being here? How many more minutes?
I don't know, but they'll be there very shortly.
Virginia's father, Floyd Heffner.
We want to take and get a copy of the tape. We want to keep it. So when Jenny gets older, that she does not have this inner feeling, maybe I should have done more.
They'll see my mother laying on the floor.
Okay.
Because my mother hasn't died before.
Donald Young was tried as an adult and sentenced to serve 145 years in prison. But under present Maryland law, he will be eligible for parole when he turns 41.
The thing that burns me up more than anything else is that I've lost a wife, and why doesn't the state come to us and say, hey, this is what we can do for you and your family? But yet I have to still pay taxes to keep this young man behind bars. And I feel that it is not right.
In the last year, Floyd Heffner has spent over $15,000 in psychiatric care and housekeepers for his children. The financial strain has forced him to file a lawsuit against Donald Young's parents, demanding compensation for their son's actions.
I'm not sitting back and letting them get away with it. And if I can get a swat back at them, it'll be my revenge of them because their son killed my wife.
The responsibilities of being a single parent have left Floyd Heffner with little time for himself. Working 14 hours a day as a project superintendent, he must leave his children in the care of a full-time housekeeper. Every morning they have breakfast in the very kitchen where their mother was killed.
Well, you're not eating breakfast, are you? Huh? Our relationship together is probably drawn very close, but it's very difficult for them. especially for Jenny, because she doesn't want to talk about anything.
No way. He's there.
At times it's difficult trying to maintain the household and the children, as well as keep your job. It's lonely for them. This is our third housekeeper in nearly a year. And Jenny has made comments. Why does these people come and why do they leave us?
Slow down. Don't be silly.
If you could only have the answers, it would be a big help. When there's two of you, it seems like the load is a lot easier. This way you do everything yourself. You pay all the bills in the home. You're doing the grocery buying. You are absolutely doing everything that came down the pike. There's a lot of things I have yet to this date had enough time really to sit down and have a good cry. It's because I've been very busy doing a lot of things. And I protect myself that I don't go into a very deep depression. And the doctors, of course, tells me that I'm due for one. I'm not going to let it happen if I can help it. I think you have to be a very strong person to be able to go through all of this. There's a difference of probably 60 feet between the two homes. And everyone says, well, why don't you move? I feel that I shouldn't be the one to uproot. And the hardest part of the whole thing is that the family has never sent a card or even put a note between the door saying, we are sorry. I guess you have to learn to cope with it. And a lot of things go through your mind. We were married for 10 years, 5 months, 6 days. And we have memories that will go on for years. And when Brian and Jenny asked for a new mommy, they don't know how close their mother and I we were. A child 6 or 9 years old does not realize you just don't go out and find a new mommy now. It's not like a Santa Claus bringing you somebody. It takes time. They cannot understand this. And of course their little minds are wondering, what is Daddy doing for us, I'm sure. Because they want somebody to be able to sit and talk to them instead of a housekeeper.
One more time and I have to go to work. Okay? That's enough.
They don't quite understand the full meaning of death as I look at it.
Well, I'm trying to give you guys a kiss so I can go to work.
There's probably a lot of questions going through their mind. What is it all about? They are really concerned what's going to happen next. And if something would happen to me, who do they call to give them the information that Daddy is gone? I love you, honey.
Dad says that we're going to start all over again, so I said, well, if we move, we can then start all over again in a new house. So, I don't know.
You don't think you can start over again here, though, huh?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Next door neighbors.
The neighbor had a son who committed a crime, who has killed a human being. And I guess if you would fight it hard enough, you'd be able to take everything that they have And it's not for me, it's for Jenny and Brian. I feel that they owe it to them. And that is the reason why I'm fighting.